Fact 1. A rainbow on Venus is called a glory. Appearing as a series of colored concentric rings, these are caused by the interference of light waves within droplets, rather than the reflection, refraction, and dispersion of light that makes a rainbow. Fact 2. Protons look like peanuts, rugby balls, bagels, and spheres. Protons come in all different shapes and sizes, with their appearance changing based on the speed of smaller particles within them, quarks. Fact 3. Mirrors facing each other don't produce infinite reflections. Each reflection will be darker than the last and eventually fade into invisibility. Mirrors absorb a fraction of the energy of the light striking them. The total number of reflections mirrors can produce? A few hundred. Fact 4. There might be a cure for evil. Well, a cure for psychopathy, anyway. Psychologists argue that aspects of psychopathy can be cured by cognitive behavioral therapy, which is said to reduce violent offenses by those with the condition. Preliminary research suggests that computer-based cognitive training could help a psychopath experience empathy and regret, too. Fact 5. All mammals get goosebumps. When your hair stands on end, tiny muscles contract at each hair's base, which distorts the skin to create goosebumps. This process is called piloerection and is present in all mammals. Hair or fur is used to trap an insulating air layer. Fact 6. Football players spit so much because exercise increases the amount of protein in saliva. When you exercise, the amount of protein secreted into the saliva increases. A protein mucus named MUC5B makes your saliva thicker when you're exercising, which makes it more difficult to swallow, so we tend to spit more. It may occur during exercise because we breathe through our mouths more. MUC5B could activate to stop our mouths from drying out, therefore. Fact 7. Some animals display autistic-like traits. Autistic traits in animals include a tendency toward repetitive behavior and atypical social habits. Fact 8. The biggest butterfly in the world has a 31 centimeters wingspan. It belongs to the Queen Alexandra's birdwing butterfly, which you can find in the forests of the Oro province, in the east of Papua New Guinea. Fact 9. You remember more dreams when you sleep badly. Research suggests that if you sleep badly and wake up multiple times throughout the night, you will be more likely to recall the content of any dreams you had. You are also more likely to remember a dream when woken from one. Fact 10. You could sweat when you're anxious to alert others. One theory suggests we've evolved to sweat whilst anxious to alert the brains of other people around us so they are primed for whatever it is that's making us anxious. Brain scans have revealed that when you sniff the sweat of a panic-induced person, regions of the brain that handle emotional and social signals light up. When you're anxious, your sympathetic nervous system releases hormones, including adrenaline, which activates your sweat glands. Fact 11. A lightning bolt is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. The charge carried by a bolt of lightning is so intense that it has a temperature of 30,000 degrees Celsius, 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Fact 12. The longest anyone has held their breath underwater is over 24.5 minutes. The world record for breath holding underwater was achieved by Croatian Budimir Sobat on March 27, 2021, who held his breath for a total of 24 minutes and 37 seconds. On average, a human can hold their breath between 30 to 90 seconds. Fact 13. The moon is shrinking. But only very slightly, by about 50 meters, 164 feet, in radius over the last several 100 million years. Mysterious seismic activity, known as moonquakes, could be to blame. Fact 14. Dogs tilt their heads when you speak to them to better pinpoint familiar words. Your dog is tilting its head when you speak to it to pinpoint where noises are coming from more quickly. This is done to listen out more accurately for familiar words such as walkies and helps them to better understand the tone of your voice. If a dog doesn't tilt its head that often, as those with shorter muzzles might, it's because it relies less on sound and more on sight. Fact 15. If the earth doubled in size, trees would immediately fall over. This is because surface gravity would be doubled. It would also mean dog size and larger animals would not be able to run without breaking a leg. Fact 16. Mercury, not Venus, is the closest planet to Earth on average. On average, Mercury is 1.04 astronomical units, AU, away from Earth compared to the $1 average distance between Earth and Venus. 1 AU is equal to the average distance between the Earth and the Sun. Venus still comes closest to Earth as part of its orbit around the Sun, however. Fact 17. Flamingos aren't born pink. They actually come into the world with gray/white feathers and only develop a pinkish hue after starting a diet of brine shrimp and blue-green algae. Fact 18. You can smell ants. Many species of ants release strong-smelling chemicals when they're angry, threatened, or being squished. Trapjaw ants release a chocolatey smell when annoyed, while citronella ants earn their name from the lemony odor they give off. Fact 19. People who eat whatever they want and stay slim have a slow metabolism, not fast. A skinny person tends to have less muscle mass than others, meaning their basal metabolic rate, BMR, is lower than those of a high muscle mass. This gives them a slow metabolism, not a fast one. Fact 20. Earth is 4.54 billion years old. Using radiometric dating, scientists have discovered that the Earth is 4.54 billion years old, give or take 50 million years. This makes our planet half the age of the Milky Way galaxy, 11 to 13 billion years old, and around a third of the age of the universe, 10 to 15 billion years old. Fact 21. Electrons might live forever. Scientists have estimated the minimum lifetime of the electron is about 6.6 by 1028 years. This is 66,000 yada-years. Since this is about 5 quintillion times the age of the universe, even if electrons don't live forever, they may as well do. Fact 22. Beavers don't actually live in dams. Technically, beavers live in a lodge that they build behind a dam, within a deep pool of water. Fact 23. The average dinosaur lifespan was surprisingly small. The Tyrannosaurus rex, for example, reached full size between 16 to 22 years old and lived up until 27 to 33. The largest dinosaurs such as the Brontosaurus and Diplodocus tended to live up to between 39 to 53 years old, maybe reaching the heights of 70. Fact 24. Someone left a family photo on the moon. When Apollo 16 astronaut Charles Duke landed on the moon in 1972, he decided to leave behind a photo of him, his 2 sons, and his wife. The photo remains on the moon to this day. Fact 25. It rains methane on Saturn's largest moon. Titan is the only moon in our solar system with a dense atmosphere and the only body except Earth with liquid rivers, lakes, and seas fed by rainfall. This rainfall isn't water, though, it's liquid methane. Fact 26. Giraffes hum to communicate with each other. It's thought that the low-frequency humming could be a form of contact call between individuals who have been separated from their herd, helping them to find each other in the dark. Some researchers think they sleep talk too. Fact 27. Glass sponges can live for 15,000 years. This makes them one of the longest living organisms on Earth. The immortal jellyfish, however, could theoretically live forever, but scientists aren't sure. Fact 28. You have a 50% chance of sharing a birthday with a friend. In any group of 23 people, 2 people will share a birthday, according to the maths. To find the probability of everyone in the group having a unique birthday, multiply all 23 probabilities together, giving 0.493. So the probability of a shared birthday is 1 minus 0.493 is equal to 0.507, or 50.7%. Fact 29. Murder rates rise in summer. Ever feel angry or in a bad mood when the weather is hot? Well, you're not alone. Violent crime goes up in hotter weather, and in the U.S., murder rates reportedly rise by 2.7% over the summer. Fact 30. New car smell is a mix of over 200 chemicals. These include the sickly sweet, toxic hydrocarbons benzene and toluene. Fact 31. Sea level isn't actually level. As the strength of the force generated by the Earth's spin is strongest at the equator, the average sea level bulges outward there, putting it further from the center of the Earth than at the poles. Differences in the strength of the Earth's gravity at different points also cause variation. Fact 32. You inhale 50 potentially harmful bacteria every time you breathe. Thankfully, your immune system is working hard all the time, so virtually all of these are promptly destroyed without you feeling a thing. Phew. Fact 33. You can see stars as they were 4,000 years ago with the naked eye. Without a telescope, all the stars we can see lie within about 4,000 light-years of us. That means at most you're seeing stars as they were 4,000 years ago, around when the pyramids were being built in Egypt. Fact 34. Plants came before seeds. According to the fossil record, early plants resembled moss and reproduced with single-celled spores. Multicellular seeds didn't evolve for another 150 million years. Fact 35. Our dead cells are eaten by other cells in our body. Don't worry, it's meant to happen. When cells inside your body die, they're scavenged by phagocytes, white blood cells whose job it is to digest other cells. Fact 36. Smells can pass through liquid. Please don't try smelling underwater, your nose will not appreciate it, but smell does protrude through liquid. Fact 37. Bats aren't blind. Despite the famous idiom, bats can indeed see, but they still use their even more famous echolocation to find prey. Fact 38. Pine trees can tell if it's about to rain. Next time you see a pine cone, take a close look. If it's closed, that's because the air is humid, which can indicate rain is on its way. Fact 39. You can't fold a piece of A4 paper more than 8 times. As the number of layers doubles each time, the paper rapidly gets too thick and too small to fold. The current world paper folding record belongs to California high school student Brittany Gallivan, who in 2002 managed to fold a 1.2 km long piece of tissue paper 12 times. Fact 40. Your brain burns 400 to 500 calories a day. That's about a fifth of your total energy requirements. Most of this is concerned with the largely automatic process of controlling your muscles and processing sensory input, although some studies show solving tricky problems increases your brain's metabolic requirements too.